Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. I hope you all can hear me. To our pro learners, I have sent the invite. Please join.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you. Yes, guys, we have a topic today, which is should and ought to. Basically, here we are talking about modal verbs, right? So we'll look at the modal verbs. Modal verbs are extremely important in English language. And what are modal verbs? Basically, they denote different types of emotions or different types of actions, rather, right? So they convey the mood, they convey the necessity, possibility, permission, likelihood, request, suggestion, etc. Right? So these are the things that modal verbs convey. So should and ought to are two modal verbs that we'll be discussing. If we have time, if time permits, we'll discuss something else as well, other modal verbs as well. Okay. So here we go. Likelihood, ability, permission, request, capacity, suggestions, order, obligation, advise. These are some of the things that modal verbs convey. Okay. Let's start with the first slide.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. Okay, let's start. Chandan, can you hear me? Chandan, can you hear me? Chandan, you're on mute at the moment. Can you hear me? Guys, I request other learners to please be on mute. You all need to be on mute. If you are joining the class for the first time, the way I conduct the class is that I would ask individually learners to read and ask questions, okay? So everyone gets an opportunity to read. However, in the meantime, please be on mute. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask during the slide or during the topic anytime, okay? All right, Deepak, can you hear me? Deepak, you need to unmute. Can you hear me? Ansi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ansi, please be on mute. You need to be on mute. So I will ask you to read. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Dipali, can you hear me? Dipali, go ahead. Read the first slide. Yeah.
She should quit smoking. उसे धूम्रपान करना छोड़ देना चाहिए. You ought to visit us on weekends. तुम्हें हमसे सप्ताहांत पर मिलना आना चाहिए. Should और ought to का यूज क्या करना अच्छा है या क्या करना सही है या बताने के लिए किया जाता है.
Absolutely. So, you say she should quit smoking and you ought to visit us on weekends. You can say that these are similar, these are similar modal verbs where you can also say you should visit us on weekends, means the same. However, ought to is probably a little more stronger, okay? A little more stronger emotion than should. Should can be considered as a suggestion, a polite suggestion as well, right? You should quit smoking, right? It can be considered as a suggestion. You ought to is more, sounds like more of an obligation, right? So ought to and should, although they have similar and must, okay, the third one is must, right? So one of the other differences between ought to and should is that should is something that expresses obligation or suggestion or advice from a personal point of view, okay? From a personal point of view. So first sentence, kya likha hai? What is the first sentence, Dipali? She should, yeah.
She should quit smoking.
Yeah. This is more of, this probably is a little more in terms of the personal point of view, and ought to is largely considered as, from the society's point of view. This particular sentence, if I were to make this sentence, I would say she ought to quit smoking. That sounds a little more, because smoking is generally considered as, is accepted, widely accepted as something that is not good from not just personal but society's point of view. And you should visit us on weekends as a personal suggestion. So I would probably look at it, use ought to in the first sentence and should in the second sentence, although both are grammatically correct. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that we use both for suggestion, obligation, and advice. Should is used as I mentioned, a little more personal point of view, and ought to is something that is ethically right, or from a society's point of view. So that is one of the differences between should and ought to. Okay, and ought to is a little more stronger emotion compared to should, but both have similar meanings. And must, again, is similar, obligation, suggestion. Okay, all right, let's continue. Just give me a minute.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I didn't understand. Actually, a call was come. A call came, so
That's okay. That's okay. No problem. I was just asking you to read the slide. I just explained the slide. So should and ought to. You heard the explanation, right? You heard the explanation, right? Should and ought to, both are obligation, both are suggestions, both indicate and advise. Should is a little more from a personal point of view, and ought to is a little more in terms of ethically what is right and wrong, and what is from the society's point of view. That's it. That's the difference that I just explained. It's okay. Chandan, go ahead. Read the next slide.
उन्हें जिम करना शुरू कर देना चाहिए. They ought to start gymming.
Give me the answer. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
हाँ, उन्हें जिम करना शुरू कर देना चाहिए. They ought to start gymming.
Yeah, they ought to start gymming. That's correct. Absolutely right. They ought to start going to a gym, or they ought to start gymming. Gymming is a word that is used casually for people who work out at a gym. So it's fine. You can use that. They ought to start gymming. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Good. Thank you. Let's continue. Deepak, can you hear me now? Okay. Deepak, go ahead. Read the next slide.
You ought not to go alone. तुम्हें अकेला नहीं जाना चाहिए. You should not go alone. तुम्हें अकेले नहीं जाना चाहिए. Should और ought to का यूज क्या नहीं करना है के बारे में सलाह देते समय भी किया जाता है. ध्यान दें कि ought does to आता है, not बीच में नहीं आता.
Exactly. So here, the important thing to make note of is, although it's not very common to say, it's not very common to use ought when you use not, but you can use it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's grammatically correct. You can say, you ought not to go alone. So basically, the last one is important. It's ought not, and it's not you ought to not go alone is incorrect. Okay, that's what's explained in the last line. Okay, ought plus not plus to. This is the construction. It is not like not ke beech nahi aata hai. What it means is you can't make you ought to not go alone. That is grammatically incorrect. You ought not to go alone. That is the reason. That is the correct sentence. Why? Because logically, if you see, that is the way it should be. So although the first sentence is not very common, you'd rather prefer saying you should not go alone. That is a better way of, that's the more acceptable way of making that sentence. Even if you come across this kind of a statement, you ought not to go alone, it is grammatically correct. There's nothing wrong with it, right? It's just that the speaker is saying that the first sentence that we read were affirmative sentences. These are negative sentences, right? So that's why no and not. Okay, that's the difference. Right, let's continue. Abhay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay. Go ahead. Read the next slide, page 4.
उनको कार मुख्य द्वार के सामने पार्क नहीं करनी चाहिए. They shouldn't park the car in front of the main entrance.
Entrance. Read it again.
Yes, sir. They should not park the car in front of the main entrance.
In front. Okay, yes, good. They should not park the car. If this particular sentence the speaker had used ought, then it would be they ought not to park the car in front of the main entrance. But then, doesn't sound as good as this one. So they should not park the car in front of the main entrance. That's a more acceptable way. Okay. See, they might not park the car in front of the main entrance. This sentence is grammatically correct. They could not park the car in front of the main entrance. Again, is correct. Might and could, both are correct in terms of the modal verbs. However, then the meaning of the sentence changes, right? Here, the person is talking about something that is a suggestion or an obligation, something that is a rule that shouldn't be followed. If I say they might not, it becomes a prediction, okay? And they could not becomes a consequence of something, a reason, a consequence of something. So they could not park and they might not park, both are grammatically correct. However, sentence जो है इसका मतलब बदल जाएगा. So that's why they should not park the car in front of the main entrance is correct. Okay. All right. Thank you. So you see, that's why the modal verbs are very important when we talk about using the right modal verb, because it conveys a meaning, a definite meaning. So if you use, although your sentence might be grammatically correct by using another modal verb, however, the meaning of the sentence changes completely if you use another one, like the classic example given here: should, could, and might. 3 sentences grammatically correct, however, the meaning changes, right? Let's continue. Elena, go ahead, read the next sentence.
Sir, second one. Neha should have told us earlier.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay. Yes, correct. Neha should have told us earlier. Yeah, absolutely.
Sir, in this sentence, why we use have there?
Read the sentence without have.
Neha should told us earlier.
Where is your verb? Where is your action? The be form.
Okay,
That's why
sir.
have is important. Got it? Yeah.
Oh.
Should have done something, right?
Sir, I didn't get it.
Sorry?
I didn't get it.
The verb is important, right? Should have told.
It is
Can you use your has, should has?
Should has is incorrect. Present tense may use ho raha hai. Should have, the first person. So he has, but here the name of the person is given here. So Neha should have.
Third person, no?
Yeah, third person. I'm sorry. Yeah, third person. Sorry. So should have told us earlier. Yes. So the one person is saying about the third person.
We use has, no? Have with first.
How can you use Neha has told us earlier? You can say Neha had told us earlier. That would be in the past tense.
Sir, why we not use Neha should told us earlier?
Then where we use had, sir?
Guys, 1 minute. 1 person at a time. Okay. See, I, we, and us are the first person pronouns. Okay. Here we are talking about I as the first person here. Here we are talking about the third person. So Neha should have told us earlier. Here basically the reason first to answer your question have is because we need to use the verb here. Where is the verb? That's why the verb is important here. Have, okay, should have told someone to do something. So that's why Neha should have told us. And here we are talking about a suggestion that, or as an obligation that Neha should have done this earlier. If you say Neha should have, again, this is, what was the sentence that someone asked? Why don't we use what?
Has, sir.
Has you cannot use. You cannot use. It doesn't make sense in this sentence. Should have told us earlier. इसका मतलब है नेहा ने हमें ये बात पहले बता देनी चाहिए थी, या नेहा को हमें पहले बताना. What is the sentence given here? नेहा को हमें पहले बताना चाहिए था. I don't think the sentence is that sentence in Hindi correct?
The present perfect, sir.
Present perfect. Yeah, that's fine. Should have told us earlier. Yes, that's correct. It's the present perfect. Have or has plus the past participle of tell is told. It's correct. Absolutely right. Present perfect tense. It's correct. So yes, the have is of course correct here. Has cannot be right here in this case. It's the present perfect tense. And in terms of what was the other question? Someone else asked another question. I got the first question is why has is incorrect here. This is in the present perfect tense. Thank you. So that's why this is the correct sentence. What was the other question?
Sir, why we use have after that should we why we cannot say Neha should told us earlier?
Okay, all right.
Sir,
So let's say you are talking about Neha should told
us earlier.
Where is your verb? Where is your verb that shows action? Should have. So that's how we make the sentence. So should have, here we are talking about the modal verbs, right? So modal verbs indicate what? Modal verbs is should. With should, you will need to use have here in this case. You cannot just use should and told, because that is a grammatically incomplete sentence. Your action word, the word that indicates something as a possession, something as a, like for example, kuch hona chahiye tha, kuch kehna chahiye tha, right? So that's when you use the word
Sorry,
verb.
sir. I'm basically Malayali, so I already I know.
That's okay. I'm explaining it in English. I was just giving you one example. I'm explaining it in English. The verb is important here. That's why. And the sentence given here in Hindi, that's fine. I understand the Hindi could have created the confusion. The sentence, the meaning of the sentence is that that person should have told us whatever that message may be, should have conveyed it earlier. मतलब पहले ही बता देना चाहिए था. That's why the verb was missing if you don't use have in this case. That's why you need to use have. Got it? The verb is important.
Sir.
Without the verb, the sentence is incomplete. That's why.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yes. Anyone
can
else?
I say something, sir?
Yeah, go ahead. Abhay.
Sir, I know after should always use have modal verb, sir.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right. Exactly what I explained. But I explained it in terms of the verb. Why? Because you should have का मतलब क्या है कि आपने ये करना चाहिए था.
सर
Yeah.
नेहा को हमें पहले बताना चाहिए था इज पास्ट ना तो
That's what I'm saying. This is in the present perfect tense. So in the present perfect tense, what do you use? You use have or has plus the past participle of the verb. So what is the verb here? Tell. The past participle becomes what?
So,
Tell
sir,
का क्या? Told.
told, yes sir.
Yeah. So that's why it's correct.
sir,
Neha को
have
हमें
is
पहले बता.
helping verb.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. But you always follow should with have, not has. Okay.
Okay, sir.
We don't say they should
sir,
has.
got it.
They should have. Right. So have is always followed, as Abhay rightly mentioned. Have is always followed, preceded by should, and should you need to follow it with have. Right. That's why.
Okay sir, I got it.
Got it. Okay. Good. Just give me a minute. I am just adding some of our learners. Guys, some of you got disconnected while connecting. So that's why I've not moved to the next page. Please reconnect. I can see some names here. Shahrukh, Shima. You probably dropped off or got disconnected. Please try and reconnect. I'll be happy to add y'all. I don't see the names here. I see the names on the chat. Okay. Yeah, I can see it now. I will add y'all. Just give me a minute. Yes, Elena, just give me a minute, okay? Just give me a minute.
Sir, okay.
Yes, go ahead, Elena. Yeah.
Sir, why we always use have with modal verbs?
That's not necessary. Give me another sentence that would probably use without have. It's not necessary that you always use with the modal verb. Not necessary. Let's say, for example, if I say, let's say that story could be true. Not necessary that I would say that story could have been true. Although I can say it. but not necessary that you always include it. Depends on the meaning of the sentence. What are you trying to convey? The same sentence, I can say that story could have been true, okay? Or that story could be true. That story could be true is a better way of saying it, right? So it's not necessary that you use have. You have to use have always with the modal verb.
Sir, actually, I want to, didn't understand the difference between have and has. We have read the rule in present perfect tense that with third person, singular person, like third, we always use has. Like she has visited us this weekend and like this. But when it comes to modal verbs like should, will, can, then we always use have with that, like she should have visited us.
Yeah, because it makes sense, right?
That
It makes
why
sense.
we don't.
Yeah, it makes sense. Why? Because you are talking about, when you talk about first person, what is the first person perspective?
IV.
IV. And what is the second person perspective? And what is the third person perspective?
He, she, it, they.
Yeah, exactly. So when you talk about the third person perspective and you talk about has, how does it match? It will not, right? You need to use have. Like, for example, if you say he, here in this case, let's say you are using the name here, right? So Neha should have, yeah, it's a good question that you asked, but let's say if I were to use another sentence with has, okay, give me a minute. I will give you another example with a modal verb. Okay. No, he could have, she could have, you could have. Again, yeah, you need to use have in this case. That's correct. Yeah. So, well, it's just that in terms of the formation, probably has does not fit the context. So if I give you another sentence, let's say, yeah. Right. Yeah. What will become the, what will be the past tense when you make a sentence using have in this case? The same sentence. Elena, change this sentence without using the modal verb into a past tense.
Sir, without using the modal verb should.
Yes.
Sir, I think it's not possible. Like I didn't read a single sentence with should had.
I'm asking you to remove the sentence just to convey another meaning. Remove should. Here the sentence is what Neha should have told us earlier. There is another way in which you can make the sentence in the past tense without changing the meaning of the sentence. Removing the modal verb, you can make the sentence. I'm just trying to give you a point of view. Then I'll answer your question. Why do we use have? It's because of the model of necessity. That's why. But this sentence, if I use it in the past tense, I can say, Neha had to tell us earlier. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got it? Here, Neha had to tell us earlier can be a sentence in the past tense, right? Without the modal verb. So the reason, to answer your question, why do we always use have and not has, is because here we are talking about the model of necessity. Model of necessity in terms of whether it is whatever person that you're talking about. As a grammar rule, you cannot use has in this case. You've got to use have. And even if you use has, you will understand that it grammatically the sentence doesn't make sense. The only thing you can say probably is, with the modal verb you cannot. Like even with could, you don't say he could has. You would have to say he could have. Possibility. Okay, he could have done something. So that's why with the modal verbs, as Abhay rightly mentioned, you always follow it with have. You can use it in one way to express in the past tense is when you use had to, the example that I gave you. However, the only way that you can use it in the present context is with have. That's just the rule, the way it is. Okay. Give me a minute. You got it, Elena? Can you hear me? Elena, you're on mute, I think. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's just the way it is in terms of the grammar. Got it?
Sir, actually, one more question. Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Elena, your voice is breaking. The problem is your voice is breaking. I'm unable to hear you clearly.
Sir, I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible now. Go ahead.
Sir, actually, I want to know the difference between these two sentences. Neha has to told us earlier, and Neha had to told us earlier.
Has to told us earlier is not a grammatically correct sentence.
Sir, why?
Yeah, you can say Neha had to tell us earlier. Cannot say has to. Has का मतलब क्या हो गया? Has to का मतलब हो गया कि someone has to do something. करना बाकी है. ये already हो चुका है. So Neha had to tell us earlier is fine. Is grammatically correct. You cannot say Neha has to tell us earlier. Okay, okay, I understand. What you probably mean is in future, Neha has to tell us earlier. But that's a vague statement, isn't it? The meaning, if you ask me what is the difference between, if you ask me what is the meaning in these two sentences, between these two sentences, I understand your question now. If you say Neha has to tell us earlier, matlab, iska matlab ye hai ke, how do I put it across? Let's say, for example, there is something that happened, okay? There is something that happened and it has already happened in the past, okay? But you are telling someone, the second person, about the third person that whenever something like this happens, let's say, for example, Neha detected a problem in the system, in the computer, let's say, okay? And Neha told you all many, many days after detecting the problem. You as a speaker are telling the second person that that third person has to tell us earlier, complete the sentence, for us to find a solution to the problem. So in future, Neha has to tell us earlier so that we can find a solution to the problem. If I make this sentence as Neha had to tell us earlier means in the past, she should have told us earlier. That is the difference between your two sentences. You got it?
Yes, sir, I got it.
Yeah, that's the difference between the two sentences. Like, for example, he has to complete his tasks much earlier than what he did this time. Okay? If the same sentence I say,
so I have one same sentence.
Just give me a minute. Let me complete. The sentence is he has to complete his tasks much earlier than he did this time. उसे अपने कामों को पहले ही खत्म कर देना चाहिए, unlike this time when he took so much time. If the same sentence I say he had to complete his tasks much earlier means I'm talking about the past. And in the he has to complete, I'm talking about what he should do in future. That's the difference. Yes, someone else has a question?
So,
yep.
I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead. First, go ahead and answer the next one. I'll take your question. First, go ahead and answer the next one. Who was asking me a question?
Sir, me.
Your name,
so I have one question.
Yeah, Asma, first answer the next slide. I'll take your question later because the timer will run out. That's why.
Last one, sir. You ought to listen to your father.
You ought to. That's how you pronounce it.
Okay. You ought to listen to your father.
Good. Yeah. Go ahead. Ask your question.
So my question is, hello English को पहले ही update करना चाहिए था.
Should have.
Hello English should have updated earlier.
Should have updated us earlier, or should have updated the app earlier, or whatever your meaning is. Should have. Yes.
Okay. Should have. We will use should have.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this starts in the past and it's still relevant. Should have done something earlier.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Hello English should have, or the teacher should have explained this earlier, for example. Okay. So yes, should have is correct. You will again use should have in this context. What you are basically trying to convey, if you understand the meaning, मतलब ये चीज उन्हें पहले ही कर देनी चाहिए थी. So that in English literally translates to should have. Okay. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Good question, Alina. Yeah, very good question. Has to and had to. The difference is One is in the past, one is from the perspective in the present, looking forward to the future. Has to do this earlier, in future. Okay, that's the difference.
Sir, I also have a question.
Go ahead, please ask.
Sir, we use a first form of the verb with has to, had to. He has to complete. Complete is a first form of the verb.
But then if you talk about I, then you don't say I has to, right? It becomes I have to.
Okay, I have to, then.
Exactly.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so it changes. The have and has depends on, it's not just about it's the person that you use, but even in the first person, if you're talking about the other one, right? Like we have to, I have to, you don't say we has to, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's why. You have to, she has to. Don't say she have to, right? That's
Okay,
incorrect. They have to, it has to, she has to, he has to, third person. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so that's the difference. So that changes depending on the person that you're using. But in terms of modal verbs, it's right that you always use have after the modal verb. Yeah. Possibility, necessity, obligation. These are the words. Okay. All right, let's continue. Good questions. Thank you. Hajira, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hajira, go ahead, read the next slide.
Sir, I can't read Hindi.
Yeah, no problem. That's okay. That's okay. I'll come back to you. Mukesh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mukesh, please read the next slide.
I think I ought to leave now. मुझे लगता है मुझे अब निकलना चाहिए. Do you think we should leave now? क्या तुम्हें लगता है हमें अब निकलना चाहिए? किसी सिचुएशन पर किसी से सुझाव लेने या देने के लिए भी should or ought to use किया जा सकता है. ऐसे वाक्य अक्सर I think, I don't think, you do you think से शुरू होते हैं.
Very good. I think I ought to leave now. The person is talking about himself, right? That I think I should leave now. The meaning is the same. Even if I say I think I should leave now, or I think I ought to leave now, meaning is the same. Doesn't change the meaning. Probably as I mentioned earlier, that ought to is a little more stronger. So it's just that ought to is, as I mentioned earlier, anyone who joined late. So should is used from a personal point of view. Ought to is used as probably a little more ethical or a society's point of view, right? So here, I think I should leave now. And the second one, do you think we should leave now? So here, in this case, should and ought to both can be used. That's the example given here, something that we already discussed earlier. Okay. All right, that's fine. Let's look at some other examples. Amit, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please read the next slide.
I should have cleaned the house. मुझे घर साफ कर देना चाहिए था. I ought to have bought her a gift. उसके लिए उपहार खरीदना चाहिए था. यदि अतीत में किसी ने कुछ गलत किया है तो हम should have या ought to have plus past participle का प्रयोग करते हैं.
Okay, just a minute. Yes, exactly what we just discussed about the past participle, right? I ought to have bought her a gift. यदि अतीत में किसी ने कुछ गलत किया हो तो should have, yeah, ought to have bought her a gift. Should have cleaned the house, correct? Absolutely. Something that is started in the past continues to be relevant in the present. That's the meaning of this. Okay, I should have cleaned the house. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Hajira, go ahead. Answer the next one.
We should not have spent that much on the clothes.
Yeah, we shouldn't have. Yeah, we could not have spent, meaning changes. We should not have spent that much on the clothes. Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Sir, both are right now, sir. We could not have spent that much on the clothes.
Meaning changes. The meaning changes.
We couldn't. Oh.
Here, the meaning is this. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between the two sentences? We could not have spent that much and we should not have spent that much. What is the difference between the two sentences?
It is in, sir, one is in past tense that we should not spend that much that we have already spent, and we should not, in general, we should not spend.
Meaning to it. What is the meaning? Basic logical meaning. When I say we should not have spent that much on the clothes, matlab, हमने already खर्चा कर दिया है, and then I am regretting the fact that we ended up spending so much.
Yes.
The second one is we could not have spent that much on the clothes. मतलब हमारे पास उतने पैसे ही नहीं थे कि हम उतना खर्चा कर सकते थे. So the third sentence means that the guy did not spend it. Why? Because he did not have the money. The fourth sentence means that the person already spent it. They already spent that much and now they are regretting that we probably should not have spent. That's the difference. Got it?
Oh, got it.
Yeah, that's the meaning. The difference is I could not have done something and I should not have done something. इसमें बहुत फर्क है. There's a huge difference. When I say I could not have done something means is basically my circumstances did not allow me to. I could not have completed the project on time. Okay. I could not have been late because I could not have been late, else I would have lost the opportunity. I should not have been late and hence I lost the opportunity. So I should not have मतलब कर दिया है, अभी regret कर रहा है. I could not have मतलब possibly नहीं है. My circumstances did not allow us to do that. Okay, that's the difference. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's continue. Okay, Shahrukh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Read the next slide.
मुझे घर जल्दी आना चाहिए था. I ought to have come home earlier.
I ought to have come home earlier. Absolutely. Just a minute. Yeah. I ought to have come home earlier. Absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. I mistakenly selected the third one. It should be come, came. Yeah, it's written came. The second one is correct. Come is correct here. Good. Thank you. Let's continue. Vipul, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Vipul, go ahead. Answer the next one.
They should listen to their parents.
Should have.
Should have, sir. No, sir. Should
You're right.
have, no.
Yeah, you're right. If it is should have, they should have listened to their parents. होना चाहिए था. Your answer is right. Your answer is absolutely right. I think most of you must have selected should have, but read the sentence, understand the meaning. They should listen to their parents. There's no need of using, there's no need of using have in this case. If I say they should have listened to their parents, then it makes sense. मतलब उन्होंने अपने parents की बात सुननी चाहिए थी. Then it makes sense. They should listen to their parents. This here is should is used as what? As an advice. Okay, this is used as an advice that you should have listened. There are two things when we use should. One is as an advice and one is a logical deduction. Logical deduction means what? I should have revised, so I have revised. Let's say, for example, I have studied, so I should be ready for the exam. Okay, this is a logical deduction. मतलब logic है. मैंने पढ़ाई की है, इसलिए मुझे पता है कि मैं एग्जाम्स के लिए prepared हूँ. This is called a logical deduction. The other thing is an advice, where we are talking about giving someone an advice. So here it says they should listen to their parents. ये speaker जो है वो उनको कह रहा है, third person कह रहा है कि उन्होंने अपने parents की बात सुननी चाहिए. That's what it means. Okay, good answer, Vipul. Well done. Shalini, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Read the next one.
We ought to help poor people.
Can you read the sentence again?
We ought to help poor people.
Very good. We ought to help poor people. हमें गरीब लोगों की मदद करनी चाहिए. That's what it means. Yeah. Very good.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, previous slide we can also use sir ought to. We ought to. They ought to listen to their parents.
That's correct. Yes, you can use that. It's correct. They ought to listen to their parents. It's correct. Absolutely. Yes. Here it's correct. We ought to help poor people, or we should help poor people. Both are grammatically correct. Okay. Z, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Please answer the next one.
We dash harder. We should. Sir, I have chosen a wrong answer.
That's okay.
We should have studied harder.
Yeah, in the past we should have studied harder. Yeah, very good. Correct.
Yeah.
Meera, go ahead. Answer the next one.
Yes, sir. I dash so much beer at the party. I should not have had so much beer at the party.
Absolutely correct. That's correct. He's had too many drinks and now is regretting. So I should not have had so much beer at the party. Correct. Correct. Absolutely right.
Thank you, sir.
Krishna, go ahead. Answer the next one. Krishna,
Sorry,
you're on
sir.
mute. Yeah. Go ahead. That's okay.
Wrong answer, but first one is correct, sir. She ought not to have gone out without permission.
Excellent. Correct. Absolutely. We read earlier that you got to use ought not and not ought to not. That doesn't sound right. Okay. Good. Correct. Thank you. Let's continue. Balaji, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Go ahead. Read the next slide.
So I don't know to read Hindi.
I'll read the Hindi sentence. It's written. उन्हें समय से आ जाना चाहिए था. Time, basically. They
should have come on time, sir.
Absolutely right. They should have come on time. Correct. Thank you. Dipali, go ahead. Answer the next one.
हमें यातायात के नियमों का उल्लंघन नहीं करना चाहिए था. We ought not to
have broken. Correct. You're right.
Have broken the traffic rules.
Correct. The easier way of saying this is we shouldn't have broken the traffic rules. That's fine. We ought not to have broken the traffic rules is also fine. You can use should or should not in this case. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Selva, can you hear me? Okay. The other Dipali, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. Read the next one.
उन्हें खाना अच्छे से चबाना चाहिए. They chow the food. They should wear.
They should chew.
1 minute, sir. They should.
Should. They should chew the food well. This is the sentence.
Chew the food well.
मैंने अभी पढ़ा sentence. They should chew the food well. This is the sentence.
Okay, sir. They should chew the food well.
Exactly. They should chew the food well. उन्हें खाना अच्छे से चबाना चाहिए. They should chew the food well. That's correct. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Kuldeep, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead. Read the next slide.
तुम्हें हमारे साथ आना. Yes, sir. You should have come with me.
हमारे साथ us होना चाहिए. तुम्हें हमारे साथ आना चाहिए. You should have not come have. Have की जरूरत नहीं है यहाँ पे. ये past में जो हुआ उसके बारे में नहीं बता रहा है ये बोल रहा है you should come with us. अभी आना चाहिए. In the present context.
You should come with us, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Right.
Absolutely. You should come with us. Correct. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Isha, go ahead. Answer the next one. Should be the last one.
Sir, we should go home.
We should go home. Absolutely right. We should have gone home. No, we should go home. See, that's the difference between the two sentences. If I say we should have gone home, this becomes what?
It's a perfect.
Yeah.
Present perfect.
Yeah, basically started in the past continues to be relevant in the present. But here we are talking about we should go home.
So
Correct.
just we talk in general, like I should eat rice every day. Just a general fact for this. We always
Absolutely. We should go home. Yeah, हमें घर जाना चाहिए. We should go home. Talking about the present point of time. We should have gone home basically means that we are talking about the perfect tense. So started in the past, relevant in the present. Basically, that is the present perfect tense that you're talking about. So that action's already happened, right? But here, the person is talking about this is what we should do. So that's the difference between should and ought to. Even when we talk about, we discuss should as an advice and as a logical deduction. We can also use ought to as an advice. Like for example, you ought to complete your homework on time. Basically, this is an advice that I'm giving you. Let's say, for example, if I use it in terms of logic, let's say 100 rupees ought to be enough for a taxi ride. मतलब ये logically बता रहा है speaker के 100 रुपए काफी है taxi में जाने के लिए, taxi use करने के लिए. So 100 rupees ought to be good enough or ought to be enough for a taxi or the taxi. So this is called a logical deduction. So should and ought to, that's the difference. Must and mustn't. Must again can be used for obligation and logical deduction, and mustn't we know is used in terms of the negative. Should again, so should, ought to, and must. These are the three things that sound similar. Depending on your context, you can choose what you want to use. Okay, that's the difference. Anyone has any question? Yeah.
Sir, people don't use nowadays out. Whereas if you find out to.
No, not out. You pronounce it as ought, but ought is fine. It is more common. No, ought is more common with the native speakers. The Americans, the Britishers, they use it ought commonly, but yeah, it's not a very common word anyway. Should is the more preferred word, but yeah, you will come across it because in order to avoid repetition, when you read articles or novels, for example, you'll see that they use ought.
So it helps to break the sentence. Many times we stuck like we repeated the word again and again. It looks so bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, writing.
Exactly.
So we can replace with this word also.
It avoids, yes. It basically, we talk about repetition, right? That is very important. So in order to avoid repetition, you will see that the different modal verbs are used in different ways, so that if you use the same modal verb again and again, obviously it doesn't sound right. So that's why. Okay, that's the difference. Anyone has any question? Yeah.
Sir, we should have gone home means हमें घर चले जाना चाहिए था.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here the speaker, although it's relevant in the present time, the speaker is talking about the fact that something happened. Okay, we should have gone home earlier, for example. This could be a continuity of one of a particular context where we should have gone home earlier. We know we use perfect tenses to give a sequence, right? So to the events that happened, right? So that's why. And we should go home earlier in the abhi jana chahiye, basically. And the one that you mentioned is jana chahiye tha. That's the difference. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, one thing I noticed in my spoken word, sir, I repeat one sentence a lot. Actually, I have learned so many grammar from this app, but while writing, I repeat same word again and again. It's very hard to break the sentence for me.
What word?
Sir, whenever I'm just writing whatever I try to write some articles, just I want to improve my English. So whenever I write, it's very hard to just suppose I'm just writing about a general work, suppose cow. Then how to break the sentences for like repetitions?
No, it's not about breaking the sentence. It's about avoiding repetition. So avoiding repetition, you need to have more vocabulary. That's as simple as that. See, articles is not a concern. Articles are common. You can use it. That's fine. It's when you talk about verbs, adjectives, when you talk about nouns, etc., that you try and use different words. Like for example, if I want to make a sentence, let's say, I have been teaching. Let's say I've been teaching English for 5 years. Okay. Or I've been teaching English with Hello English. I've been with Hello English for 5 years. I can rephrase the sentence in different ways. That, Hello English is a
Yes.
platform that I've been using for the past 5 years to teach, or I've been teaching, or I've been a teacher with Hello English teaching different, taking different classes for the past 5 years, or since 2000, whatever, 2018, 17, whatever it is, just giving you an example. So you need more vocabulary. You need to rephrase your sentences. It's not just about the vocabulary. You need to rephrase sentences as well in order to have a flow to the writing. Basically, what it means is that when you write, it has to include, there has to be brevity, there has to be clarity in what you're writing, basically, and there has to be greater vocabulary so that you can avoid repetition. That's what it means. Brevity is what? Brevity, basically concise and exact use of words in writing or speech. That is important. So you learn more words. That's the only way.
Sir, just say, I think I have learned so many words also, but whenever I writing, I just most of the time problem is a repetition problem, and when many times I checked by mentors on this app, they correct me on a different way. So I am not able to write a good sentence.
No, see,
Proper
that's
sentence.
the correction is not a problem, Isha. The problem is what, forget the correction. Whenever you write, when you think that there is a repetition, forget about anyone else correcting your text. Whenever you feel there is a repetition, the words that you've repeated, just look it up on the dictionary and see if there are other words that convey the same meaning, and try and use those words.
Sir, especially with me, sir, pronouns and with just like, sir, if something I just have to define, like it is, she was, like this. Mainly,
That's what I'm telling you. A pronoun is not a problem. Pronoun is about one particular person. That's not a problem. That is not a concern. That you are representing one person, so you can choose whatever pronoun you want to. What I'm telling you is, if you feel there is repetition, try and look up the words in dictionary and use other words that convey the same meaning. That's what I'm telling you. That's the only way you can improve. That's the only way you can expand, right? Regardless of who corrects you or not. That's the only way you can improve. You read your text and you determine and you figure out what is repeated and try and use more words and replace the repeated word with different words. That's how you improve. Yeah?
Got it, sir.
Yeah, that's the only way. Otherwise, there's no other solution to that. The only way is you learn more words, you keep improving. That's it. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the afternoon. Okay. Keep practicing. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you,
Right?
sir.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Nice meeting you.
Good evening, everyone. Pro learners, quickly join the Zoom meeting. Great. Sharing the screen, let's quickly start the topic. I don't want to waste even a minute. So yesterday, I believe we were doing 3 things I cannot live without. Right. Impromptu speaking. There we go, admit. Money or time? Wow, very nice topic. So who would like to speak on it? You guys can take 1 minute to think of your answer.
Money.
If you choose money, why do you choose money? If you choose time, why do you choose time? I believe. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Got it. Thank you, ma'am.
No problem.
Ma'am, may I? Someone is starting, ma'am. May I start?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, ma'am. Right
Definitely.
now. Money is very important for everyone, including me. Even without money, you cannot exist on the earth. We spend our whole life to running behind the money, especially, and sometimes we also forget our our happiness, because we are every time when I was child, our our parents used to say, just do hard work, because your future is your hard work is depend on your future is depend on your hard work. So just money is intangible as well as materialistic things. When I was child, I take money for a granted. I used to shop a lot, but after when I started grow up, I realized that this is not just a piece of paper, it's our life. Just during pandemic, one thing I realized that many people have not a many
Isha, what happened? You stopped talking in between. Hello.
people have not even a single meal. They cannot import meal. Earlier, just I don't understand how nowadays money, we have a digital currency like cryptocurrency, dog currency, and like debit card, credit card. So our life is very convenient, and that's it. I forget what to say.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in in between. I don't know what happened. Your voice was not audible.
Yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
have a internet issue, ma'am.
Maybe the internet issue. Yeah. So actually here we are talking about things. Again, same mistake that you made yesterday. Things. So things wo aapne kara for the granted. I don't take it for the granted नहीं होता, for granted होता है. We never use the with granted. Okay, I don't take money for granted. We should never take money for granted. Again, things, right? बीच में थोड़ी सी गड़बड़ी हो गई थी.
Ma'am, दो line and I just want to add. Can I add?
Please go ahead.
Our old ancestor grandfather used to save money for our futures, just like they bought lot of lands, and my grandmother used to buy gold and silver ornaments. So it was a good asset for us. So whenever we feel crisis, we used to those assets for fulfill our wishes. So it's our duty to secure money for future generations. That
Okay, so again, futures, for our futures should not be there, it should be future. Used to those no. So आपने बहुत अच्छा point बोला that our grandparents used to save or used to buy ornaments like gold and silver, and they used to be assets for us, so we could use them in the time of need. Okay.
in
और
the time
rainy
of
days भी
need.
बोलते हैं, in rainy days when you don't have money. So
okay,
yeah,
rainy days.
yes, so you could
Rainy days means when you are broke, ma'am.
yes, when you are broke. Exactly, when you don't have money, when you are broke, you can call them rainy days. So our
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
yes, Abhay, good evening.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. अबे अगर मैं किसी से बात कर रही हूँ तो थोड़ा सा वेट कर लिया करिए, right?
Ma'am, I already waiting, ma'am.
हाँ, वो सभी वेट कर रहे हैं. There are so many
Yes, ma'am.
students, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Overall, it was good. Isha, keep it up.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
take care of the mistakes,
Okay, ma'am.
things and futures, right?
Okay,
Rest
ma'am.
everything was good.
Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Abhay, do you want to go ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Please, आपको बोलना है?
Yes, ma'am. I speak on money or time. Ma'am, money and time both are important for our life, ma'am.
Yes.
Without money, you can't anything.
You can't do anything. Not you
Do
can't.
anything. Yes, ma'am. Can't do anything. If I maintain our life or purchase anything and maintaining our family, so required the money. Without money, didn't provide the facility and didn't provide our my kids study in the higher education and other good institution. So money is very important for life. And ma'am, time is also important. If you have money, but your time is bad, time is not suitable, then you have money, even though time is not suitable, so you can't do the something, ma'am. For example, at present, I have money, but I want to do higher education engineering. I do engineering. I want to do engineering. Then can't possible to study. If I want to study, I have money, even though I have no time, so I can't possible to doing
Right. Okay.
the engineering.
So what you are trying to say, I'm getting, but you are not able to speak about it. So
Yes, ma'am.
फर्स्ट मिस्टेक आपकी थी कि आपने माय के साथ आर का यूज किया. माय फैमिली होना चाहिए था, यहाँ पे आपने लिखा आर फैमिली. विदाउट मनी आई कैन नॉट प्रोवाइड मनी टू माय फैमिली. आपने बोला आर फैमिली. हमारी फैमिली नहीं है, वो आपकी फैमिली है. रिक्वायर द मनी. इट यहाँ पे आपने इट का मिस किया है, सब्जेक्ट ही नहीं लगाया आपने. इट रिक्वायर्स मनी. कौन है भाई? राइट. और उसके बाद आपने बोला डिड का आप यूज कर रहे थे, जहां पे प्रेजेंट में आप बात कर रहे हैं आपको कैन का यूज करना है, डोंट का, ठीक है। सो आपने डिड का यूज किया। द समथिंग कुछ नहीं होता, एंड समथिंग होता है, समथिंग या खाली समथिंग भी यूज कर सकते हैं आप। एंड कैंट पॉसिबल, रॉन्ग। आपने बोला था आई वांट टू
Hello, ma'am. Can I speak?
do my higher education, so it can't possible without money, it is not possible without money, okay? Right, थोड़ी सी मिस्टेक्स इन पे वर्क करिए, ऑल्दो एवरीथिंग वाज गुड। फ्लुएंसी थोड़ी आपको चाहिए बिकॉज आप बहुत सोच सोच के बोलते हैं, इट टेक्स अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम व्हेन यू स्पीक। Right.
Ma'am, can I speak?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes,
Ma'am,
you're
can I
welcome.
speak?
Yes,
I
and
will
you can.
try.
Ma'am, can I speak?
Yes, I already said yes.
Okay, ma'am. I think time has a pivotal role in my life. There is a proverb, time and tide wait for no man. Yes, time is very demanding. I believe that the success of everybody's life is time managing. Proper time managing bright everyone's future. Moreover, the opportunities do not wait for us. That is the space getting to a 25-year-old and a 35-year-old is different. So our youngest age at our youngest age we get more chances. So time is very important one's person life, and that's all. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, and see, I don't know why you used the past form did. You're not supposed to use did if you are talking about present. So, as you are talking about the importance of time and time management, you are not supposed to use the did form. Although everything was fine. In the beginning, I couldn't understand what you were trying to say. So, just try to speak a bit clearly. Okay, although everything was
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
great.
Firstly, I said that the sentence is I think time has a pivotal role in my life.
Oh,
Can
I'm
you
still
hear
not
me?
getting. Time is after time is I'm not getting.
I think time has a pivotal role in my life.
Can you spell the word? I think you are mispronouncing the word.
Okay, pivotal.
Pivotal. Okay, you are using pivotal. Yes, pivotal.
Pivotal. Okay,
Right.
sorry, pronunciation
Actually, I
is
was
different.
actually confused at what you were trying to say. I couldn't get it. Right? All
Yes,
right, who's next?
Ma'am, may I?
Ma'am, may
Yes, who said may I first? Go ahead. 1 second,
Ma'am,
मैंने एक मिनट रीड कर लूं if we don't have time. 1 second, इन लोगों के comments फिर चले जाएंगे. Is she reading? Is she reading? Yes, Sachin, I am reading. Okay. If we don't have time in our lives, we can do anything. Okay, very one by there is some network issue. I'm not able to listen or see anything. Great. Okay, now you can go ahead.
money and time both are very important in our life, but I believe money is very important. But I believe money is very important for all of us. Without money, we cannot live. So nowadays, money is money is very important for all. Without money, we cannot buy anything from the market, and without money, we can do nothing. Money is very valuable for all of us. With the help of money, we can do many things like study, travel, shopping, and many more. So, I believe that money played a very important role in our life. That's all.
Right. ओके गगन, थोड़ा सा आपको जोर से बोलना है क्योंकि बहुत आपकी कम थी आवाज, मेरे लैपटॉप की ऑल दो फुल है, बट और ट्राई करिए थोड़ी सी, आप तेजी लेकर आए अपनी आवाज में, ठीक है? थोड़ा सा लाउड भी बोलना है और थोड़ा सा फ्लुएंट भी बोलना है. Although everything was good, you talked about time and money. Good. Who's next?
Kuldeep Kumar, ma'am.
Kuldeep, yes, you can go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, giving a chance. Ma'am, as we all know, money and time both are important for us, but in I think money is more important because with the help of money we can make a status in the society. We can hire people for doing number of
I'm not
things.
Kuldeep.
Ma'am, ma'am.
पीछे से कौन बोल रहे हैं?
No one, ma'am. Only me.
No, other someone else was speaking. Yes. Please go ahead, Kuldeep.
So money is more important than time because with the help of money we can survive. Without money we can't. I think so. And if we don't have money, then how we can survive? And with the help of money, we can for multiply our time. We can hire number of people who, if we want to run an organization, then we can hire number of people for the same organization, and we can provide them the number of people can provide them a job also. With the help of money, in this way we can help our society also. The people those haven't job, they are unemployed. With the help of money, we can we can run our organization proper, and we can hire. Then we can help them for 2 square meals. Those people don't have class, we can provide them. And if we talk about with the help of money, we can save time also. If we want to any go Lucknow to Bombay, then we can we have train as well as plane also. Then we go by the flight, then we can save time. And number of works for doing the work we can pay. After paying money, we can save our time. And
Yes.
so I
Okay.
think money is important for us, ma'am.
Yes, Kuldeep. Good. Kuldeep, you have spoken really well. Your sentences were correct, but some mistakes were there, like how we can know, how can we, right? How can we solve the problem जो आपने beginning में बोला था? Those haven't. These people, first of all, those नहीं होगा. People के साथ these आप use कर सकते. These people have not. People यहाँ पे subject नहीं use किया था आपने. Run a proper organization.
Yes, ma'am.
It's pretty costly,
Thank
right?
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
good.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I believe Meera. Yes, Meera, please go ahead.
In my point of view, money and time both are important, uh, but time is more important than money because yeah, for example, a student, he is trying to choose his career. For this this is important time for them, that time, when because we say that time has never come back, ma'am. But if you lost money, we can earn money again, ma'am. So, hello.
Is that all, Meera?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And if we have money, ma'am, we can provide facilities and we can help other people. They have required
people's
people.
और यहाँ पे lost, if we lost time नहीं होगा, if we lose time, first form of verb is lose, then lost and lost. Okay, so if we lose time, then we cannot get it back, right? But if we lose money, we can earn it again. Right, good point, Meera. So I believe now we have Asma, Amit, Archana, Balaji, Divya, Hayat, Mehak, Sachin, Swapna, Z. Who's next?
Ma'am.
Dipali.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Dipali, you can.
Ma'am, time is the most important in our life and anyone life, because the time is lost, not come. The time is not came to. mm, the time is not coming in repeat, because yeah, and time, uh, when we lost time, the time is not come. So time is most important, and give the important time, and do anything in the particular time. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 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 Dipali, I would request you to first, जब भी मैं कोई टॉपिक दे रही हूँ क्लास में, आई वॉन्ट यू टू मेक नोट्स और ट्राई टू राइट. ठीक है, उसके बाद आप बोले क्योंकि आप बहुत सारी मिस्टेक्स कर रहे हो while you're speaking. First you said most important what? You can say it's most important thing, most important asset, कुछ तो हो ना, आप ऑब्जेक्ट ही नहीं लगा रहे. उसके बाद आप lost यूज कर रहे हो. If we lost time, lost नहीं, lose first form. फिर आपने came बोला, it never came. फिर coming, यहाँ पे verb की first form यूज होगी, come.
ओके मैम.
ठीक है, तो अभी के लिए आप प्रैक्टिस करिए टॉपिक पे बोलने का, एंड देन यू कैन गो अहेड विद इट.
थैंक यू मैम.
नो प्रॉब्लम. नेक्स्ट.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, Balaji. Good evening.
Yeah, madam. Ma'am, I would choose a time because the time is most precious thing in the world. I have been thinking of taking Hello English classes for the past 6 months, but I did not have a time. I had a money, but I did not have time to attend the Hello English classes. And also money, we can always make a money, but time not like that. And also I have seen in many interviews, like a businessman, actors, cricketers, they always say, we need a rest. That means they need a time. They want a time to spend with their family. So time is more important I feel time is more important than the money. Also, I work in the ship in Italy. I always used to stay away from my home for 8 months. Whenever I call my family members, they say always, when you come home. Even my kids, whenever I speak to them, they say, Papa, when will you come home? I say, no, I will buy something for you. No, I don't want anything. I want you to come home because we want to play with you. That means what I really understand, that okay, time is more important than anything else. They don't want anything from anything. They don't want anything. They don't want anything to buy for them. They want me to play with them. So I feel time is more important than anything else, madam.
Yes, Balaji, very well said. The example, you always use an anecdote that I really love. So very well answered. Some words that you made mistakes in. First, precious, pronunciation, precious. And you were using with time, rest, time, and money. These are the words we do not use article with. Time is uncountable noun. We cannot use a time. Rest is uncountable noun. We cannot use a rest. Money is uncountable noun. We cannot say the money. we can earn money. Understand? Then when my children told me that they want me to play with them, they don't want my time, not my money, I understand. No, I understood the time is more important than money. Very well done. Just keep a check on these things and everything will be good.
Okay, madam.
Who's next?
Ma'am, can I?
Mehak, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll choose time because with time, I can learn lots of skills, build lots of new connections, and with those things, I can make lots of money. But with lots of money, I can't buy lots of time. That's it, ma'am.
Mehak, why are you speaking matlab itna kam? What happened? Those nahi hoga, these. See, when you are counting few things, na, like I can buy this, this, तो यहाँ पे these आएगा. Those होते हैं वो चीजें. ये, if you are counting them, तो ये these ही कहलाएंगी. I can buy these things. Okay, and I want you to speak more. You have
Okay, ma'am.
spoken hardly 3 sentences, right?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
It's okay. Next.
Ma'am, can I?
And see, you have already spoken on the topic. Asma, Ajmol, Amit,
Yeah, ma'am.
Divya, Hayat. Yes, Ajmol.
Can I, ma'am?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, ma'am. For me, both the things are very important in my life because ma'am, without time, we cannot earn money. So time is very important thing for a human being because if someone has time, then they can earn money. So this is the thing. So and money also important for living a human life. Without money, we can't buy anything and significant life. With money, we can live a good life. That's it.
Is that all, Ajmol?
Yeah, ma'am. Is that all?
Okay, it is all, not is it all. Yes, so Ajmol, see, first thing आपने बोला, it is important. Money is important. उसके बाद things ऐस नहीं आएगा. ये things का मुझे logic ही नहीं समझ में आ रहा.
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, may I, ma'am?
Ma'am.
Yes, who said may I, ma'am? I believe Z.
Ma'am, Z. Yes, ma'am.
Z, please go ahead.
Ma'am, like others, money or time both are important for me also. A person who understands the value of time will never waste it, and wasting time the particular time. If we respect time and do our work accordingly, we will always be successful. And we purchase everything with money, but not time of those people whom are important for us. You should never break. You also should never break the laws to make money, because nowadays many people break laws. Money, or as many call it, the language of the times. It is the hidden key to many closed doors. We rarely find that there is a person who works and whose main goal is not to create wealth. Yes, ma'am.
Z, I believe you are reading from the net. I believe you have searched the topic and now you are reading it, because it was actually like
Yes, ma'am. Because before the class, ma'am, I take so many speaking class, but no points catch up in my mind. So I just try to catch up some points and write down in my notebook and try to mix each sentence according to me.
It's okay, Z. First of all, you need to be, smooth. You need to be a bit smooth while you are speaking. It's like even when you are normally speaking to me or having a conversation with me, it seems like you are reading something. So okay, try to
Yes, ma'am.
be, yeah, try to change this thing. And nowadays, although everything was good.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
May I say, ma'am?
Ma'am,
ma'am,
Guys, Asma, Amit, you need to
मैं
wait. Divya, you
मैम
need to wait.
मैं फर्स्ट बोला था.
Okay, Divya, you can go ahead.
ma'am, I'm
Asma,
also in a queue from long time.
I know. It's okay. After Divya, you can start, Asma. It's fine. Yes, Divya, go ahead.
My opinion of this topic is uh, money and or time. I don't separate to money or time. Uh, who person don't focus on sufficient time, the don't sufficient time, that person would not be a rich in its life. But who person lot of money at it can not consider time, it will be a lose money. Many people want to uh, get more and more money and don't have time to spend with family. I think money is important for career in life, but we don't forget spend with time for family in our life.
Okay. Many mistakes. Divya, too money. Money is something you said which with you added two. I forgot that. So too money no aega. I think you said important too money, something like that. Who person? What is who person? A person आएगा यहाँ पे. Who person नहीं. यहाँ पे आएगा a person, or you can say someone who
Okay.
loves money. It's life. It's नहीं आएगा यहाँ पे. They आएगा. ओके इट्स की जगह, बिकॉज आप एक इंसान की बात कर रहे हैं, या तो आप उसके लिए ही बोलिए या शी बोलिए या दे बोलिए. इट विल क्यों आया, इट क्यों आया, प्रेजेंट में बात हो रही है. डोंट नहीं आएगा पर्सन के साथ, एक इंसान के साथ डजंट आएगा और डज आएगा. राइट. सो ये थोड़ी सी आपकी प्रेजेंट सिंपल टेंस की मिस्टेक्स हैं. सो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू लर्न प्रेजेंट सिंपल टेंस. Asma, now you can go ahead.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, money and time both are very important for everyone. But I have to speak on any one topic, so I will choose money.
Good.
Money is very essential for me and for others also. We all work hard for money that we can make a backup for future and live our life happily. As we all knows that money can fulfill our all wishes and we can stay happy. Sometimes when we don't have money and we want to make our career in any field, then we thought that I wish I had money, then I could also do that. And the last but not the least, if you have money power, then you feel more powerful and more confidence in your life, and everything seems possible. That's it, ma'am.
Wow, Asma, I love your voice. It's beautiful, mashallah. And the way you are
Thank you,
speaking,
ma'am.
it seems like, yeah, you have some good knowledge. मतलब आपका बहुत अच्छा है sound आपका. This is very good. Okay, so थोड़ी सी mistakes थी, जैसे V के साथ आपने. One second, guys. Feedback तो देने दीजिए at least. V knows. V के साथ knows नहीं use होगा because we use SNES with he, she.
Ma'am,
कभी
all
कभी
knows.
भूल जाते हैं बोलते में.
As
It's
we
fine.
all knows. All is plural ना, so I
हाँ
use
हाँ हाँ हाँ. अच्छा हाँ, all बोला था. अच्छा, as we all
as
know.
we all knows.
ना 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 नहीं आएगा ना. V है.
Yes, ma'am.
अगर
Okay,
आपने
ma'am.
बोला होता है as everybody knows, everyone knows, तो ठीक होता है. राइट.
Okay, ma'am.
साथ नहीं आएगा. Thought यहाँ पे think. For example, you said that if we have money, we think about career. So यहाँ पे आपने thought बोला
We
था.
think.
यहाँ पे think आएगा present simple. और
Yes,
it seems
then we
easy
think
and
that I
confident.
wish I had money.
Yes. So हाँ, तो think आएगा ना. I wish I had money. आप already had use कर रहे हो तो think ही तो आएगा. और यहाँ पे
Okay, ma'am.
confident आएगा. Confidence नहीं.
Okay, confident.
Yes. Last में आपने बोला था ना seems easy and confident, something like that आपने बोला था.
Yes, ma'am. If you have money power, then you feel more powerful and more confidence in your life.
Yes, in more confidence, more confident. You will feel more confident. Adjective. Okay.
Okay, more confident in your life.
Yes,
And
right.
everything seems possible.
Although everything was good, only these 3 mistakes. Very well done. Keep it up.
Ma'am,
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am,
One second, 1 second, 1 second. सारे एक साथ बोलेंगे, मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि किसको
ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
we are don't discuss hiring a lazy person. Don't always a bad thing.
Yes, we will discuss it. Don't worry.
It's my turn, ma'am.
Amit Yadav. Yes, it's Amit's turn. Okay, go for it,
Then
Amit.
Amit Patel.
Then Amit Patel. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Money and time both are important of our life. We purchased from money anything, but time is more important than money because time one time passed away. I not purchase from money time.
Is that all?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
अमित काफी प्रैक्टिस की जरूरत है आपको, बहुत बेसिक है अभी, कोई बात नहीं, प्रैक्टिस करिए, प्रेजेंट सिंपल टेंस को समझिए उसके बाद, बिकॉज ये टॉपिक प्रेजेंट सिंपल टेंस में बोला जाएगा.
Yes, ma'am.
मनी इज इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर आवर लाइफ, नॉट ऑफ द आवर लाइफ. ठीक है, आपने बोला ऑफ द आवर लाइफ, फिर
Yes,
आपने
ma'am.
बोला वी परचेज एनीथिंग फ्रॉम मनी. वी कैन, हम कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी खरीद सकते हैं. वी कैन परचेज एनीथिंग फ्रॉम मनी.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके. एंड अमित पटेल, गिव मी अ मोमेंट, बहुत देर से मैंने आप लोग के चक्कर में कमेंट्स रीड ही नहीं करे हैं.
Yes,
यहाँ पे
ma'am.
थोड़ी सी गड़बड़ी हो जाती है. You can attend all class. Kalpana, two words, money, money, money. Money is small in front of humanity. Time is greater than money in front of humanity. देवान, आप तो अलग ही चीजों में humanity में चले गए. May I, ma'am? Sachin, yes, you can. आप यहाँ पे है, कर क्या रहे, क्लास में नहीं आप? मैम आपने तो दिया नहीं फीडबैक मुझे. अजमोल, आपको दिया तो था मैंने फीडबैक, क्या हो गया? OMG, there is a killer.
No, ma'am, you haven't given me feedback about my speaking.
नहीं, अब मैंने बोला था अजमोल, आपने थिंग्स बोला था उस पे. आई रिमेम्बर जब मैंने बोला था कि पता नहीं आप
Okay,
लोग
ma'am.
things
So
से
instead of things, what should I use, ma'am?
थिंग.
Like there are
डोंट पुट
two
एस
things
विद
inside.
द वर्ड थिंग्स.
Things.
नहीं होता. वी कैन बाय मेनी. अगर आप बोल रहे हैं मेनी थिंग्स, तब यहाँ पे थिंग्स आएगा.
Okay, so
Both
things
are
we can use for
it
more
fulfills
than two
our
things.
need and dreams as no. Yes, exactly. सिंगुलर का मतलब है
Okay.
एक चीज, प्लूरल एक से ज्यादा. हम प्लूरल में एस लगाते हैं. It fulfills our need
Okay,
and
ma'am.
dreams, as
Thank you.
nowadays you may see most of the people are running for money to fulfill. Right.
To fulfill their dreams.
आप क्लास में हैं, तो आप लिख के मुझसे मेहनत क्यों करवा रहे हैं आप रीड करने के लिए?
Ma'am, I just want to speak, but here
No,
I can
you
see
will
like
speak, don't worry.
every
Okay, Amit Patel, now you can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Money and time both are important, but I think time is money. Means time is priceless and precious. When we use it for earning money, but what's important to understand, and we cannot use the money to get our lost time. When not get use money, get our lost time back. And if we have not time, we can't earn money. So time is important, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Good. Good, Amit. थोड़ा सा बोला है, लेकिन आई वॉन्ट यू टू स्पीक मोर. द मनी नहीं होगा, बिकॉज आप किसी पर्टिकुलर पैसे के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप जनरली मनी के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. राइट. सो द मनी यहाँ पे आर्टिकल का यूज नहीं होगा. आ मनी, द मनी, नो. ओके. Money is important than time, because if we lose money, we can get that money back, we can earn the money, but we cannot get back the lost time. Get back the lost time. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Yes,
you,
that
ma'am.
we have lost. We बोल सकते हैं हम the time that we have lost or lost time. Okay, now let me just see किस किसने कर लिया है. Asma done, Ajmol done, Abhay done, Amit done, NC done, Archana, Balaji done, Dipali done, Divya, Hayat, Isha done, Kuldeep done, Mehak done, Sachin. Only 3 students are left and Sapna also. 4 students. Quickly.
Yeah, hi ma'am, Swapna
Yes,
this
Sapna.
side.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I'll choose time. So time is something which runs in forward direction always because of thermodynamics laws. So you cannot go back to the time which was spent. And the more we will value the time, the more we will be able to achieve our goals. And it actually varies with gravity. For example, if someone is around black hole, there is supermass, and due to that, the time passes very slow. So if you are talking to someone who is on black hole, they will hear your voice very slowly.
Right.
So time changes due to speed of light as well as gravity. And even I have heard that the person who is in the second floor and the person who is on the ground floor, even there also there is certain amount of age gapping that happens, which we cannot actually identify, but that does happen due to the gravity and time difference. So we should always respect our time because and we should always think that whatever we are doing currently, that should be the most important thing to be done on that time, so that we would not lose the important things. That there might be some scenarios where we might be thinking about the past things or the future things, so there we might just lose some of the important things. And if we will just concentrate to the right moment, to the current moment, then we will achieve everything and we would not require to regret later in future that if I would have given the requirement amount of time in my career or in my personal life, then there won't be such issues happening now. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Sapna,
I'm fine.
very well done. Means something different. I was really enjoying while you were speaking. You talked about the concept of black hole and the gravity, first floor, ground floor. Everything was good. It's just 2 mistakes you made. First, if we will value money, money will value us, something like that. So no will. If we value money, okay, present
Okay,
simple tense. On that time, no. In that time.
okay, okay.
All everything was good. Like you're speaking so nicely, so smoothly. Your pace is so soft. Very nice. Very well done.
Okay, thank you. I hope that I was able to not make it monotonous
No,
too.
no, no, no,
No,
no.
right?
It wasn't monotonous. Means the way you were speaking was good. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I could
Thank
see
you.
some improvements. Good. Keep it up.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, who's next?
Yes, ma'am. May
Hayat.
I?
Hayat, why Hayat is not speaking? What happened with Hayat? Yes, you can, Sachin. Only
Hayat,
you,
would you like
Archana,
to
and Hayat
speak
are
or
left.
should I go?
Can you speak a bit louder? Come to the mic, please. Come closer to the mic.
For me?
Yes, you.
Okay. Now it's come. It's audible? Ma'am, am I
आप
audible?
लोगों को मेरी वीडियो नहीं दिखती when I just give you this sign of agreement?
Sign of
Yes,
agreement?
yes, I am giving you a thumbs up. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I can't see anything because
Ma'am,
Why?
it's not
I
visible
can't see
for
the
us, ma'am.
topic. I can't see there is a all black screen.
And your video is
How
not
can you
visible
even
for
say
us.
that?
Maybe there is a privacy in the app. That's why.
No, no, no. I have seen now. Can you
Yeah,
see?
Now
ma'am.
I can
Now
see
it's
you.
visible. Yeah,
Oh,
now it's
visible.
visible. But topic is
Oh God, why didn't
unvisible.
you tell me this earlier? मतलब
It's
खाओ.
just happened
आप लोगों को
few minutes
स्क्रीन नहीं
ago.
दिख रही? मनी और टाइम
Now I
लिखा
can
हुआ है स्क्रीन पे.
Now I can see your
मैम
time
स्क्रीन तो
also.
दिख रही है परंतु आपका चेहरा साथ में नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है ऐसा।
हाँ वो ऊपर छोटा सा आ
But
रहा
ma'am, in same time, both are not visible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Ma'am, both are visible.
But I can see, ma'am, you were there. Update after that.
Your screen, your face, both are visible.
Ma'am,
Yes, it
there
should
is
be
no
visible.
full screen. There is whole PPT showing on slide number 11, 12, 13, 14.
Right.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Great. Okay, Sachin, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. So for me, money is more important, and both are important. But we can say mm, I prefer money is more important, as I have faced many situations in life, and I have seen very bad situation like for the money. So I can say that money is very important. Whether if you are facing any bad situation in your life, you can come up with that situation, and that situation, if you don't have money, so I don't think so that you will grow up. And the best example I can say that the pro membership. Now you can see, the time is good, everybody is learning English, but for the students, for the achiever who want to get something, they don't have money and they can't afford these things, so that's why they are not able to speak or learn something. So I prefer money is more important. And for the time, the people who are saying that the time is more important, I have one question from all of them, that if you have good time but you do not have money, then what will you do? This is my question, and that's all, man.
Can
So
I
ma'am, we
answer
can
this
have,
question?
yeah, why not, ma'am?
If we have time and if we don't have money, we will earn money in the time.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. If the time is bad, then what will you do?
Arey? Okay.
Yeah,
Sachin,
like
if
you
I
are
have
earning,
time, for
yeah,
example,
like you are, ma'am, like you
yes,
are earning, but
yes.
your expenses are way too much. Then,
Really? Really?
yeah,
Sachin, time is so. मैं आपको क्या बताऊं अब इस बारे में. So I
yeah,
don't think.
I agree with this, that time never comes
You
back.
know what
So
I feel that I have sessions, like I take your sessions twice a day, then I have my own sessions. So I feel that I don't have time for me, for my family, for my friends. Even when I go on trips, I take sessions. You
then
understand what I'm
question,
trying
ma'am,
to
then
say?
why people
So
are running for money?
I am, see, it's because it's a basic necessity.
So
You cannot have
that's why.
both in one time. Either you can have
And
money or time. ये
and
जिंदगी
if you
का.
have to prefer one thing, then
If you have to नहीं, if you have to नहीं, if you prefer, if you नहीं, you सही है. If you have to prefer नहीं आएगा यहाँ पे. If you have to choose आएगा. If you have to
okay.
choose one thing, I would choose time with someone who has a lot of money, so that I don't so that I don't
Reality
have
comes
to
back,
earn
ma'am.
money.
Reality comes back. Reality appears.
यार
So
ऐसा होता ना, I could have married someone rich, but I don't want to, because I know that people who have money, they have different mindset. So that's why always wanted to be independent, and now when I am independent, I have to keep this thing smooth, like stable. It's not like, if I see, this is like something, if you are doing something, you are getting money. If you leave that thing, you are not getting money, right? So this is the thing. So time भी important है, money भी important है.
but I think, ma'am, money is power and everything. Nobody knows whatever happen, what could be happen in your life in just 10 minutes. If you have money, you can change that situation. If you are like any emergency case, you need to borrow someone, you need to ask someone. But if you have money at that time, you can change it into, turn into happiness. This was
Mhm.
it's my
Sorry, ma'am.
personal opinion. I'm not saying to all them.
Of course, it's your opinion. I totally agree with your opinion. I believe both the things are important. Money is time, time is money. Amit said it, na? So I believe it. It's true. Right. 1 second.
Can I speak,
Aya?
ma'am?
Yes, you can speak. मैंने यहाँ पे कुछ jot down किया था वो गया.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, my
Things.
mistakes.
हाँ सचिन मैंने jot down की थी वो मैंने screen वो करी वो
No,
चला.
ma'am, I'll watch in the recording. Yeah.
मैं बता रही हूँ तो things ही बोला था आपने. Things में गड़बड़ी करी थी और एक और
Okay.
था. We can say. Why we can say? You're talking about yourself. So I can say should be there. Although no और कुछ नहीं था. ये दो ही थे, I believe. Okay, good. Keep it up. So yes, तुमने तो दुविधा में डाल दिया बंधु. कोई नहीं. Yeah. Archana, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Money and time both have a direct relationships in your life, but I always prefer time because human's mind is not so satisfied one. How much you wish for the money, you want more. You never going to be satisfied, and you spend a lot of your time on earning that money, which is just a piece of paper. Money is important only just for completing your basic needs, and how much life you live, your needs and wants are becoming more. So I think money is not so important. Time is very valuable. Time is time is precious. Everything in this world is bound with the time. If you do not have time and you have a lot of money, what will you do with it? I don't know.
Good, Archana. You will be satisfied. No, it should be you will be satisfied. Okay, because आप be का use कर रहे हो, it's be के साथ verb की third form आती है because passive sentence है. You will be satisfied. क्योंकि be के साथ will के साथ be और ing आता है normally active sentence में. So satisfied your needs. No, your need. जरूरतें. Your needs भी हो सकता है वैसे. जरूरतें. Your needs. Precious नहीं होता, होता है. Precious. Time is precious. It's valuable, right? Okay, I believe everybody is done except for
And Hayat is scared
Hayat.
of you. That's why she is not speaking.
She's scared of me. She has left the
Yeah.
session already. Oh ho, कि मैं भूत हूँ या मैं चुड़ैल हूँ? Yeah. What is yeah?
No.
No, ma'am, you are not, ma'am.
Thank you, Ajmol. मुझे तो पता नहीं था.
Ma'am, you're very sweet, ma'am.
Why Hayat is scared of me? Hayat, come on. She has spoken to me na, when she drew all the drawing and everything. I have
No,
interacted with
she
her.
was Jihan.
Oh, she was.
That was Jihan, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was
हयात तो
Jihan.
हयात से तो मेरी अभी कुछ दिनों पहले भी बात हुई थी. हयात जिहान से एक बार हुई थी ऑल्दो. हाँ, मैंने डांटा भी नहीं है कभी. हयात, if you don't speak
मैम
then
आप कभी डांटते हो? आई डोंट नो.
Yeah.
that's my mistake.
Once in a blue moon.
So yeah, answer is different. We can have a good debate on this topic. Yes,
Yes,
we
ma'am.
can. Trust me. When I saw this,
Let's start.
when I saw this topic, that time also I realized the same thing. But that piece of paper doesn't. आएगा यहाँ पे doesn't. Oh, see dustbin. So true. In its entire life, true means that paper never go to the dustbin like other piece of papers. Archana.
Yeah.
Nick.
That's a good
Point.
of debate.
Let's start by guys.
It's
You
depend on the person to person. If you are connected yourself with the God,
Okay, Arjuna. Okay, tell me one thing. Whoever has spoken, they all prefer money, right? I think
no, not all. I wouldn't
Not
say
all.
all.
No,
But
no, I
Some
prefer
people.
time, Sachin bhai.
Yes.
I
because
also
time is
say
Okay,
very
time.
now you are going for,
yeah.
now you are moving to time. Okay, come in the
No,
time.
no, no, no. Not
No, no, no,
everybody
no, no,
said
no.
that. Not everybody.
Go
They
and watch
said,
videos, then you'll find.
Sachin, what they said
I have.
money is
I was.
important, but I prefer time, or time is more important than money. Because if you have time, then only if you have money. But if you have money and you don't have time, you have nothing. ओके आई अब आपने एक सवाल पूछा था, एक सवाल मैं पूछती हूँ, ठीक है?
Yeah.
एक सवाल मैं पूछती हूँ आपसे कि टिल द टाइम ऑफ 30 years, ठीक है, 30 years तक आपने पढ़ाई करी, बहुत अच्छी कंपनी में जॉब करी, यू आर सेविंग मनी एंड नाउ आई विल travel the world, right? And or you are in your plane, for example, and the plane crashes. What will you do with that money? कम ऑन टेल मी। आपने क्या अगर अपनी जिंदगी के 30 चलिए 40 साल लगा लिए, 35 साल लगा लिए, आपने सिर्फ कमाया, कमा के आपने क्या सोचा कि मैं फ्यूचर में एंजॉय करूंगा, फ्यूचर में एंजॉय करूंगा, और जब वो एंजॉय करने का टाइम आया, व्हाट हैपेंस? यू डाई, सॉरी, थर्ड पर्सन अगर ले लेते हैं, व्हाई यू, ही डाइज, द पर्सन डाइज, कहाँ गया पैसा? कब्र में लेके जाना है पैसे को? गिव मी द आंसर।
But uh, what you were saying that balance.
Yeah,
So one
balance.
can say
Okay.
that balance,
Money
and
and
one
both.
thing
See,
more.
it's quite difficult to choose one thing, because
Yeah.
even you will realize it soon कि time अगर आप family के साथ spend कर रहे हैं, obviously it is very important. और ये सब हमें कोरोना ने बहुत अच्छे से समझा दिया, and 6 हो गए हैं, so I would have to say,
Ma'am, where are you going?
मेरी शादी है।
Ma'am,
Bye, ma'am.
party.
Take care,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
party. Ma'am, party.
घूंघट तोड़ के बैठना है मैंने भी स्टेज पे
Ma'am,
जाके।
party.
Okay,
Party.
I'll see you guys tomorrow at 12 noon and evening at 5. आपकी पार्टी हम पे कर्ज रही। Bye everyone.
Goodbye.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Let's just wait for everybody to join in the class. Then we'll begin with the session. Just a second. All right. Good evening, Z. Hope you can hear me. Good evening, Asma.
Good evening, ma'am.
How was your day? How are you?
Ma'am, it was good. What about you?
Yeah, my day also went well, sort of. What did you do in your day, Asma? Would you like to describe that? Speak more, perhaps? Okay, anybody else?
Ma'am, nothing special. I have joined whole day all classes.
Good
Oh,
evening, ma'am.
good evening, Rajesh, Salim, Vanilla, Z, Abhay. Good evening to all.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Z. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Abhay. I'm seeing you after almost like a couple of months now.
Yes, ma'am. I am attending after a long time because, ma'am, my mother expired recently, ma'am,
Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that, Abhay.
on 23rd December. So I was very sad and immediate gone to home, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
After all activity completed, finished, then back to the on duty. Uh, 3 4 days ago, ma'am.
Got you. All right. Um, I hope you're doing fine now, Abhay.
Yes, ma'am. Now I am fine, ma'am. My mother age is over 80, ma'am.
Okay.
80, 85.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And
Got
no any ill, no sick. He
she.
die. She die uh, at random. At random.
Got you. So
By,
she naturally passed away because of old age.
yes, yes, madam. And due to heart attack, suddenly heart attack.
Okay. All
Yes, ma'am.
right. Got you. Okay. All right. I'm sorry for your loss, Abhay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. Please check your network connection. We can't hear you, ma'am. It's totally breaking.
Thank you, Abhay. Wait. All right. Let me do that.
मैम अंधेरा जैसा दिख रहा था. Ma'am, network very poor.
Ma'am, are you using mobile data or Wi-Fi?
Chandani. Yeah.
Ma'am, are you using mobile data or Wi-Fi?
Now I'm using mobile data. Earlier I was using Wi-Fi, so I think you guys were facing a problem with that. Is it fine now, or is still like the
Yes, ma'am. Now okay.
fine now? Okay, all right. Rajesh, what were you saying? Andhera sa dikh raha hai. I'm so sorry.
नहीं वो नेटवर्क नहीं आ रहा था ना इसलिए बोल रहा.
Okay, English only.
Okay, okay.
All right, yeah. Okay, all right. Okay, should I just begin with the class, or does anybody want to share what they did? Yes, Isha. Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, Isha. How are you? How was your day?
Ma'am, actually, I'm just bit under the weather. Actually, it's
Okay,
extremely cold
again,
in Rajasthan, ma'am. Yes, little bit, not much more. So
no, not
I'm
too
just
much. Not much more, nahi, not too much.
don't not too much. Okay, ma'am. Then I got up like 8 a.m. in the morning, and
Hmm.
then I had my breakfast, ma'am. Just well, whenever I talking with whenever any topic, whenever I start talking, ma'am, it's very hard to. I have to repeat one sentence again and again. My speaking is just not like a normal fluency. Just like I got up in the early in the morning, and then I got freshen up, then I watched TV for a 10 minutes, because nowadays news, it's
Hmm.
very important to watch news every day. What happens is all around your country, you have to um, know the you have to know. So, and then after I take classes on Hello English app, at least I
So
have attended.
I
I
took
took
classes. Hmm.
I took classes on Hello English app, three classes, and
Hmm.
all us speaking
Hmm.
classes, classes. And then after, in the evening, I was watching TV with my mom, Australian Master Chef, because she loves to cook different kind of cuisines. So she is a big fan of all these cooking shows. Me too. Also, I also like to sit with her and love to watch the all the cookery channels on the TV. And in the evening, my mother is made dhokla for me. Then I ate dhokla and coffee, and then I was just waiting for you to attend your class.
All right. In the evening, my mom made
My mom made dhokla, ma'am.
is made. Okay, so it should only be made. Okay, and
My mom, okay.
then I ate dhokla and had coffee, because
Then
coffee is not eaten, right? So you can't say I ate dhokla and coffee. Okay,
okay,
I ate dhokla and had coffee, or you can say I had dhokla and coffee later.
okay, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you, Isha.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello.
Good evening, Swati.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
I would like to share my routine of today.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Today I woke up early in the morning at 6 o'clock. After that, I just kicked out my day with yoga, 1 hour yoga.
Wait. What did you say? You kicked out your day?
Kicked start my day.
Yeah, I kick started. Kicked,
Yeah.
kick started. Okay. I kick started my day with yoga. Okay.
Yeah, I kick started my day with yoga. Usually, I don't follow any routine for yoga. I just randomly pick any YouTube video of yoga and follow that.
Okay.
After that, at 7 o'clock, I usually take 1 glass of warm water along with amla juice and honey in it, and then that usual tea and biscuits. After that, I cooked breakfast for me and my husband and for my son.
No, for my family and I.
Sorry.
Me and I, it'll be I, and I will come at the end.
Okay. For my family.
For my family, okay.
And then I usually in the morning I work online for 2 hours. So that usual work, routine work I did. And then after that, I again entered into the kitchen and I cooked food for my family. And after that, in the afternoon study, I teach my son for 2 hours.
Taught my son for 2 hours.
Sorry. I taught my son, and then in between I attended 2 more classes for live classes for English. And in the evening I cooked upma, and I'm attending right now your class.
Okay, and right now I'm attending this class. All right. Thank you, Swati.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right, well described. Like you spoke well, so that's
Thank
nice.
you.
All right. Anybody else who wishes to discuss their day before we begin with the class? Sandesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay, so first we'll go with Sandesh, then Z, we'll come to you. Yes, Sandesh.
Thank you. So today was very amazing day for me. Uh, okay, because of I started learning new skill as a driving. So today was my second day of learning driving. So I'm learning four-wheeler. So I went to
Okay,
driving school.
just a second. And learning a four-wheeler. And initially, when you said I had a very amazing day. So instead of very, you can also say pretty amazing, quite amazing, all right? And even before that, you need an article, okay? So we will either say I had a very amazing day, or I had quite an amazing day, or it was a pretty amazing day. Okay, so article is important. We can't miss that out. Okay.
Thank you. So it was a pretty amazing day. I went to driving school to learn driving. So today was second day
To learn how to drive.
how to drive. So today was second day of class. At a I went to driving school at 10 a.m. So
Okay, at 10 a.m. No, why are you saying at
10 a.m.
yeah,
At
at
10
10,
a.m.
at 10 a.m. Yeah.
At 10 a.m. So the class for long for 30 minutes.
What are you saying again? Class
The
long
class was for long
was
30 minutes.
all right. So the class was 30 minutes long.
So the class was 30 minutes long.
Hmm.
Then I came back to my home and start my working on 9:30 at
Hmm.
9:30.
Started
Then
working.
yes, I started my work at 9:30.
Hmm.
Then I had a breakfast at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I had
till
breakfast,
I
not
had
a breakfast.
breakfast.
Yeah.
I had I had breakfast. Then I uh, continued my work till 1:30.
Hmm.
Uh, After that, I uh, attended one meeting with the client. It was very nice meeting, and the client was very happy with our service. So it was very nice meeting. Then I again start my routine uh, work till 6:30. Then I went outside for uh, for cycling. So I cycling 30 minutes.
I cycled for 30 minutes.
I cycled 30 minutes and then came back at home at uh, 7 p.m. and then I joined Hello English class to learn English.
All
So
right.
this is my whole day.
All right. Perfect. Thank you, Sandesh. Just towards
Hello,
the end,
madam.
your voice started to break. Okay, so that was a little bit of a problem, but I got most of what you shared. Yes, Salim. Good evening.
Good evening, madam. Madam, I want to share the one of the idiom today I learned is sick as a parrot.
Sick as?
As sick as a parrot.
I am not getting the last word. As sick as a parrot?
Parrot. As sick as a parrot.
Can you spell
Parrot.
as a sparrow?
Parrot. The parrot. Parrot.
Okay, as sick as a parrot.
As sick like sick as a parrot.
Okay. And
So, uh, from the BBC English Learning,
mhm. Yeah, it is actually a British expression. As sick as a parrot. As sick as a parrot means when somebody is very disappointed, when you're very, very disappointed with something or in something. Okay. So when you're extremely disappointed, that is when we say as sick as a parrot. Okay. Let's say, uh, I was as sick as a parrot when I found out that I didn't get the job. Okay, so that means I was extremely upset and disappointed when I learned that I didn't clear my job interview. So I can express this by saying I felt, or I was as sick as a parrot. All right, that is all. Thank you, Salim. All right, now it is Z. It is your turn, right, to share your
Yes,
day?
ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I am not sharing my day. I in our last class with Amanta ma'am, she actually gave a topic in her live speaking class, and the topic was time and money. I already spoken on this topic, but I did lots of mistake.
I
Uh,
made I made lots of mistakes.
I made lots of mistakes. After the class, I again write few
sorry,
lines on the same
I
I
topic.
again
was
wrote.
disconnected.
I'm so
So,
sorry. I again wrote a few lines. Just a second,
Okay.
Z. Yes, Salim. Salim, Z was already speaking. If somebody is already speaking, okay, please wait for their chance to get over and then unmute yourself and start to speak.
okay, madam, I was disconnected and appear again. That's the thought.
Okay, no problem. Sandesh, I'm muting you. Yes, Z, continue.
Ma'am,
So
after
you,
the I already wrote a few lines on the topic after the class. So if you have never mind, then can I speak again the topic
again on the topic,
on the topic?
you don't mind. If you never mind, nahi, if you don't mind.
Okay, ma'am. If you don't mind.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, ma'am. Uh, as like others, money and time both are important
No,
for
wait. What do you mean as like others?
ma'am.
बाकी सभी की तरह.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for that we can say much like everybody else.
Much like everybody else.
Else. बाकी
Else.
ELSE.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Else.
Yeah, much like everybody else.
Much like everybody else, uh, money and time both are important for me too. We can purchase everything with money, but not
Wait,
the
what?
time.
For what? For dash and purchase, what did you say?
Uh,
Speak.
purchase everything, everything.
Repeat your sentence, please.
We can purchase everything with money, but not the time.
But not with time. So it'll be slightly better if you say we can purchase everything using money, but not with our time, or
Okay,
but not using time. So
but not
basically what you
using.
want to say is things can only be purchased using money, not using time.
Okay, of those people whom are important for us. If we understand,
What does this mean? Of those
it
people.
ma'am, we purchase everything but not time, because the people time I use time because the people I want to get met, but they have no time to meet with us.
No, wait. Okay, so in your first sentence, you're saying that much like everybody else, uh, time and money are very important. Is this what you said? Something like that, right?
Yes, ma'am. Time and money both are important for us.
For no, so you can't say for us. जब आप पहले ही बोल रहे हो कि बाकी सबकी तरह.
No, me too, me too.
Yes. Okay, so okay, I'm thinking this is something which you have written down somewhere, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
Yeah, so it is already a little bit tricky for me to just listen to what you have written and be able to correct your mistakes. Okay, so I want you to be very clear on what you have written. Okay, if you have written by us, then tell me by us. If you have written something else, then like be sure of what you have written. All right, like don't change it, because then it becomes confusing if what I understood was incorrect. All right.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So your first line was much like everybody else, time and money are two very important things for me as well. Yeah.
Wait a ma'am.
Yeah.
Much like everybody else, money and time both are important for me too. I use this sentence.
That is also correct.
We can purchase everything using money, but not using time of those
But not using time. Or
using
you can,
time.
but not with our time. You can say that too.
Okay. Or using time of those people
Wait.
whom are,
So now what does this mean of those people? Is this the same sentence or is this third sentence?
ma'am, in the same sentence.
Okay, so
can I speak in Hindi to explain my point of view?
Yeah. No, but just wait a second. So you're saying, but we can purchase things using money, but we can't purchase things using our time. I feel you should end this sentence here.
No, ma'am.
Okay, what is the second part?
Uh, uh, not using the time, but those people whom are important for us.
Okay.
The time is those people, not my time. Which people are important for me?
Okay, tell me in Hindi, because whatever you have written, the meaning is not coming out through that.
ओके एक्चुअली मैम मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि जो हम पैसों से हम सब कुछ खरीद सकते हैं, लेकिन उन लोगों का टाइम नहीं खरीद सकते जो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. वो हमें तभी टाइम देंगे जब उनके पास टाइम होगा.
Okay, all right. So for that, you can say that with money, we can only buy material things, but we cannot buy the time of other people, right? We can't buy other people's time. They will only have time for us when they are free, when they have time. They can only take time out for us when they have time. Sorry, Sandesh, I'm muting you. Too much noise, Sandesh. I'm so sorry, I muted you again. Too much noise in the background. Z, is it clear?
Down.
Yeah.
It was clear.
Just a second, Sandesh. Let me first clear her thing. Then
I have doubt in the same sentence.
Okay,
So,
what is your
saying, my doubt is saying that we cannot buy the time of others, but we can buy the time of others. For example, we are working for someone else. It means we are giving them time. It means I'm working with a company, so I'm giving my time to that company. So for that, they paying me salary. So we can buy the time.
No, she means it in a different way, all right? She means like we can buy material things, we can buy anything, right? But we cannot buy your time. And even when somebody is working for you, you aren't just buying their time alone. You are basically, what you're paying them for is not for, because not only because they are giving you their time, you are paying them because they are working for you in that time. All right, so they are being paid